6 weeks after Dumbo's release, the United States and Disney went to war.
Right in her Goebbels' face. Then Holding says they'll never bomb this place. The Heil, right in her Goring's face. Is he not the Superman? Arian Pura Superman?
Yahweh is the Superman.
Super duper Superman. Is this Nazi land so good? Would you leave it if you could? Ja, this Nazi land is good. We would leave it if we could.
In Der Führer's face, Donald Duck was enlisted to work for the US propaganda machine. He showed Americans what life would be like under Hitler. The film was a radical departure for Disney. Aware of the enormous appeal of his best-known characters, he decided to use one of them as a vehicle for political satire. It was translated into several languages, and copies were dropped behind enemy lines. It won Disney an Oscar in 1943.
Let's go with Navy Project 648, Sequence 1. Let her roll.
Der Führer's Face was one of over 100 military training and propaganda films produced by the Disney studio during the war years. As it was being released, a small group of artists were putting the finishing touches to the studio's 5th animated feature. Begun around the same time as Pinocchio, Bambi had been 5 years in the making. Disney was determined to achieve a new level of realism in the film's portrayal of nature. He established a zoo at the studio so his artists could study animal movement, and sent wildlife photographers into the countryside to capture, among other things, the properties of rain. Once again, Disney's meticulous attention to detail paid off. When the film was released in 1942, it was hailed as a masterpiece. Bambi was the last of the great Disney films. After the bitterness of the strike, Disney began to lose his passion for animation. A new obsession was taking its place.
In America, when things go wrong, we look for some kind of alien evil to blame it on, and communism was certainly fulfilled that function for people like Disney, for lots of people in America.
One of those who shared Disney's fear of communism was FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover.
Communism in reality is not a political party. It is a way of life, an evil and malignant way of life. It reveals a condition akin to disease that spreads like an epidemic. And like an epidemic, a quarantine is necessary to keep it from infecting this nation.
Hoover and Disney shared similar outlooks.
You know, they were similarly dark-driven men. They'd done the same thing in almost the same time frame. They had built little organizations into big organizations. The FBI was a Disney-like organization. All those clean-cut WASP young men in their ties and their black suits and so forth, going around very politely inquiring into your political beliefs. There would have been a natural affinity there.
FBI headquarters. One moment, please. I'll give you Mr. Hoover.
Documents released under the Freedom of Information Act revealed that the relationship between Hoover and Disney went beyond a natural affinity. In 1954, the head of the FBI's Los Angeles office wrote to Hoover, recommending that Disney be given special status within the Bureau's intelligence gathering network.
Mr. Disney can be of valuable assistance to this office. It is my recommendation that he be approved as an SAC, Special Agent in Charge, contact.
At the head of each of the FBI's 51 field offices is a special agent in charge.
He was classified as an SAC contact, meaning a contact who is contacted solely by the special agent in charge of the field office, in this case Los Angeles.
William Turner worked for the FBI for more than 10 years. We asked him to review Disney's FBI file.
Disney was feeding a lot of information about inside Hollywood to the FBI. He was informing to the FBI what he knew about activities of a subversive or conceived subversive nature in the industry.
Disney's FBI file runs to around 600 pages and points to a 20-year relationship with the Bureau. But the exact nature of the information Disney supplied to the FBI might never be known. Around 80% of the documents are either partly or wholly blacked out. The FBI says this is to protect confidential sources.
We have no way of telling if those are valid withholdings or not. We simply have to go on their word.
Walt Disney is dead for a quarter of a century. What possible information can remain in that file in 1994 that needs to be blacked out?
Well, why do you think they've blacked it out?
Because they want to protect Walt Disney's reputation.